The drink, we're clicking to the environment. We're clicking to the environment. We're drinking to the environment. Yes.
Mark Yuschack!
Mr. Ted, how are you there, big guy?
Holy crap, it's been too long, man.
I know it's been a real long time. What's it? It's got to be what, almost 2 years, right?
3.
Has it been 3 years already?
Yeah, I graduated 2017. It's 2020. Well, it's actually the end of 2020.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that long. I know we've communicated back and forth on different things, so didn't realize it was that long already. Good Lord.
Right?
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my god. So how have you been, man?
Good. Very, very busy this semester. There was some teachers at Raritan College that couldn't do a class, so they, asked me, kind of pleaded with me to take this class. So I said yeah, and I should have just said no because it was just one too many classes. So between Kean and teaching at Raritan Community College, which I really, really like.
Nice.
So between those two schools, that was really enough. Throwing in the Rowan College was biting off more than I can chew. But I'm getting there. It's working out. Just spend too much time behind this computer.
Yeah,
Way too much time.
Some of my friends are telling me that they, since they work from home, a lot of my friends do. They're just like, yeah, I need to get that out of the house every single day.
Yeah. Usually Thursday I do get out, but today I had some stuff for Raritan Valley. I just kept going from one thing to another. I finished class at almost 1 o'clock, and then I had to meet with a couple of students afterwards, and that worked out fine. And then I had a professional development with Raritan Valley, which was actually pretty good. I'm kind of glad I did it. And then I had a 2 o'clock with a book editor who wants me to review a textbook. And so then I finally got off of that, and I said, now it's time for lunch. that was like 2:30, 3 o'clock. I was having lunch, So I just took some gradings and papers, took a walk out to the outside for a little bit, and here I am back again.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So what are we doing here tonight?
So I'm actually glad you asked. So if you saw any of my prior shows, my prior episodes, you would probably get the idea to have a nice drink with you on this show, because we like to talk about environmental issues and come up with solutions for them over nice adult beverage.
Yeah, well, I have my adult beverage. It's Honest Tea. I just got finished drinking it because I was a little bit parched. So I get that. I'm not a big other kind of drinker, alcohol or anything like that. So
all good.
Something of water or just a little splash of fruit juice in it is always satisfying to me.
Very good.
Good.
Awesome. Well, if you would like to go refill yourself before we.
No, I just finished it now, just before you came on.
Oh, okay.
I got down here a little bit early, and I was watching. I like to watch the 6:30 to 7 o'clock news.
Okay.
As the only news that I watch anymore. I watch nothing else. If I want to get news, any kind of news update, I really go to NPR.
NPR is so awesome. I've been listening to that nonstop since the COVID happened. Actually, no, a little bit before, but
yeah,
it's very reliable.
It is. It really is, and I like the non-biased reporting, and right. I also like PBS, public television. So
right.
Within those two, I get my fill, and I'm very selective as far as what I want to read. I'm getting really tired of politics because we just can't get along, and we cannot present ourselves as professionals and who are going to be the leaders of our country. And also, too, politics doesn't give us a really big choice. We have two choices that are, there's more, obviously, libertarian and other parties, but they don't qualify for any kind of funding. So we don't really get them unless you go looking for it. And that's not really a fair democratic society, in my opinion. I think we need to be able to have more people than just a Republican and a Democrat on the stage debating. I think we should invite the other parties to debate as well, and let people.
I definitely agree.
Yeah, let people get it. Let people make their idea up. Let them know that there are other people out there who may have good ideas and may have bad ideas. Who knows what they are? But give them an opportunity. That's what I always think democracy should be, and not just two parties. And then they're talking about, what is socialism? Well, socialism, in my opinion, is any one party that's in control. So, I mean, if you have the Republican Party is in control, well, that's socialism, because it's whatever they say goes. And the same thing with the Democratic Party, who's ever in control. Whatever they say goes. So there really isn't, I think, fair representation for everyone. It's either one or the other, and I don't think that's very fair. I don't think our founding fathers meant it to be that way, but that's the way it ended up.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I also think that, because I've talked to my dad about it. I've talked to a couple other people, and they're just like, we shouldn't even. I mean, it's nice to have a presence, so then it's you kind of give a face to the country for other foreign geographical locations.
Sure.
But in terms of, governing and, the chief of the armed forces and all that kind of stuff, I definitely think that, or just, governing people in general, I definitely think that it should be through voting, definitely, you should be able to vote for a specific thing, whether you like it or not like it. It's 50-50 either one.
Sure.
But it's as a collective is what I'm trying to say. There should be some kind of maybe council or people's roundtable, so to speak, where they should be able to vote, and it goes by majority or popular vote.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't study politics or anything, but I mean,
the only unfortunate part about that is when our founding fathers wrote the Constitution, it wasn't based on the populist vote. It was based on the electoral vote.
Right.
Yeah, and so it doesn't make a difference really what the majority of the people vote for. It's really what comes down to what the electoral college going to vote for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so I have to agree with you and your talking to your parents about that, because it seems to be more top down than it is to be a combination of top down, bottom up. It depending on who's in office, they get to stack our courts the way they feel the courts should be. And then I think that should be more open to public opinion and public voting to see who is the best candidate for some of these positions, and not be all one-sided. But that's the way our politics were designed in this country, and it doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. So I think you're right that we need to get out and vote, and that's it. Despite anything else, I think that's the most important part, is that we are able to cast a vote and able to have a say in the process, and I think that's important for all of us.
Absolutely. Yeah. I definitely think that. I mean, it's funny that you say that we have to go out and vote, just because that reminds me of all the commercials saying oh my God, you should go out and vote, all of our, celebrity icons and whoever just saying, go out and vote. You can really make a difference, blah, 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 blah. But then it's like, just kind of playing devil's advocate here. It's like a portion of, my friend group or like, people that I know, they're just like, well, it's all rigged, or like, does it really count? And, all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, it actually does, just from what I've learned in the last like year or even 6 months rather, it's like, it does count, but I feel like it doesn't count in the way it doesn't work in the way we like kind of think. Like when you're going back to like, when you just said the electoral college, I didn't even know what that meant until I had to have someone explain it to me. I was like, wait, what? Can't we just do like kind of like a, popular vote, or, you just vote and, out of X amount of people, it goes by majority, whatever.
Yeah, you'd think it would be like, but that's more of your state and local elections where it is done that. But when you get, and even your congressmen and your senators are voted that way, but for presidency, it wasn't set up that way. And
right, yeah.
But we shouldn't be discouraged. We should go out there, because I guess if we don't vote, Ted, then I don't think we have a right to complain or say anything, because you didn't vote.
Definitely.
You didn't vote. You didn't get out there and at least try to change the system that's in place. My son, he's intelligent, but he doesn't vote, and he complains. I said, well, you have nothing to complain about, because you don't voice your concerns. You don't go out there and vote. He goes, it doesn't make a difference, but it does make a difference. Even if the candidate you voted for didn't win, at least you can talk about it. At least you can do something.
You kind of like trade. You kind of like, in a weird way, purchase, bragging rights, or like complaining rights in a weird way.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
So it's like,
that's exactly right.
My person didn't win, I can still complain because I actually did put in my 5 cents into a contribution to.
That's exactly right. That's exactly. I think you have a very good point there, and I think we're both making the exact same point, that our vote allows us to have a voice.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And that's what all these other nonprofit / profit organizations are really trying to advocate for, is like, I mean, not to sugarcoat it or anything, or make it proper or anything, but don't bitch, don't bitch unless you vote.
Right. That's exactly right. Use
my language or anything, but like, that's kind of the truth.
No. Look, but you're right. I mean, that's exactly correct. If you don't go out there and voice and have your voice heard by vote, then don't bitch about it. You're exactly right. Yeah. All right, good. So now that we got the politics, solving all the politics, which really,
we did it.
Yeah, we did it, right? And then, of course, at 8 o'clock, we get to watch the boxing gloves come off and start all over again.
Let's go.
Oh my God! I'm so glad. My wife and I were watching. Yeah, we were watching the first debate and the interruptions and stuff like that. And I said to my wife, I said, why don't somebody just shut off the mic?
Oh my God! Legitimately, me personally, I'm just gonna go out on a rant for a minute, but me personally, with these debates going on and stuff, right? And since you have such a short time limit to say everything that you got to say about it, I personally agree, or I agree with this concept of actually what I'm gonna shout him out, Joe Rogan Experience. He's such a popular podcast on YouTube and everywhere pretty much. He actually interviewed Bernie Sanders, and it was like a whole, I don't even know, 2.5 hour, 3 hour long podcast, but he was asking him legitimate, hot topic issues and just having a full blown conversation with them. And I feel like that's when you could actually learn about the person and what they're trying to actually, convey and trying to shoot for when they're actually running. Not like these 2 minute, or 1 minute, 30-second answering. Because then, as you saw with what was it? the VP debate. Like,
Oh yes, the vice presidential
Mike
debate.
Pence was just like totally going over the time limit, and
Yep. Kamala Harris.
Yeah, and she was just like, okay, I'm following the rules. Like, why can't you? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, and you're right. The rules need to apply to everyone, and that's really respect. And
It's more of a
and
respect thing, not even like following the rules. It's just respecting
it's just
everyone else
respect.
plus
Hmm.
yourself.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
and
you're
it's
right.
just like if you can't do that, then you shouldn't be
You know
running.
what? It's
Or
I think something like that says something about their character.
that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
That
Yeah.
it
Well,
is it like as I was watching, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like watching this, but I'm just like, Mike Pence, you're kind of pissed me off with like you going like you have like a minute to say what you gotta say, but you're going to like a minute 30. Like what the
yeah,
hell? And
yeah, right.
Kamala
I know.
Harris is not. She's speaking her piece and then she's going with it.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know, in that debate, I still thought it was pretty much civil, but yes,
It was. It was. It
it
wasn't like
it wasn't a boxing
bad
glove
mouthing or
match,
anything. So that's
but you know
good.
what? The going over your time limit is just not considerate of your opponent, and if your opponent can stick to the rules, then you should stick to the rules too. So
Right.
tonight we do have the mute button, which I'm really happy about. But let's see how that works out. It'd be interesting to see, because you know he can just shout on stage, and you know whether we'll hear him or not, it'd be interesting to see. But
As soon as that,
you know.
as soon as he just like you start yelling, just unplug.
Yeah, right, exactly. You know, when you're really
Like,
arrogant.
have someone like behind the scenes at the box and just be like, okay, just give me a cue on when you're about to yell. Just
Yeah,
plug
you
in.
know, just unplug it. Yeah.
But
Oh,
anyway, nevertheless.
all right.
But so I don't know if I actually told you for the show, but we're just gonna be like doing this in like 30-minute kind of segments, if you
Sure,
will.
sure.
So anyway, so please welcome Mark Yuschack to the show. If you don't mind though, even though we just talked about politics and stuff for a second, for everyone that does not know you, just give a brief introduction of yourself and what you do.
Sure. As Ted said, I am Mark Yuschak. I am an adjunct professor at Kean University in Union, New Jersey, and I'm also an adjunct professor at Raritan Community College. Prior to Kean University, I was teaching in the professional development field up at CUNY School of Professional Studies, which CUNY is the City University of New York. And I was also teaching for an organization called Thomas Shortman Scholarship Training Fund, which is associated, or the school for 32BJ, which is a very big union on the East Coast that union members are service worker unions. And what I was doing up there was actually teaching green building and energy efficiencies to resident managers and supers of multifamily and commercial buildings. And from there, I was able to get into undergraduate education and just really fell in love with it. I have a double majored in my undergraduate work with earth science and global studies. And I have a master's in environmental studies, and I have a master's certificate in education. And I had a couple professional certifications, but I think they lapsed at this point in time. I just got a little bit busy and never renewed them. It's not difficult to renew, and I can always go back and renew them because I still have the credentials to say. So I've been living here with my wife in Jackson Township for the last 14 years, and been a long life resident of New Jersey.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So how many certifications do you or did you have?
Oh, I had like 5. I had two from the Building Performance Institute, which is called BPI. And those certifications were in multifamily and single family energy efficiencies. I was a lead green associate, which was the first step to becoming a lead AP. And I had another certificate in a passive house as a passive house consultant. And I also had a certificate and what they call, I think it was called something like sustainable building, whatever. I forget what that one is. That was a while back. So more my professional certifications had to do with green building, high performance, and energy efficiencies.
Okay. Cool. So, that's a lot. That's a lot of intricate credentials there. That's awesome, though.
Too many of them, because they all require professional development and continuing education. And I think that's where I got a little behind, because a lot of the programs to get the CEUs, they cost money. And after a while, the bank account says, no, you can't do anymore. So, and
that'll happen.
yeah, exactly. And that was my biggest obstacle, was constantly keeping paying for these things. And so I just decided that, maybe it was time to just relax and really concentrate on my undergraduate education. And that's what I really like the most out of everything. And I mean, I am teaching about sustainability and environmental sciences. I teach about building energy and conservations of energy. And I also work with a colleague of mine at Kean University, and even with my department, which is the School of Environmental Sustainability Sciences, of writing and updating our program. So I've been very, very fortunate and lucky that I've been having that support from Kean. So to me, I really love Kean University. I think it's a great school. It looks just pluses and minuses in everything that we do. I'm glad I'm not a full-time faculty. I don't have to put up with all the administrative things that some of my colleagues have to do. And they said, well, you're lucky. And I said, yeah, that's it. I really do like that. And then with the other two community colleges that I work for, they have some very great professional development that I really enjoy, that comes free, and sometimes they even pay me for it. So that's even better. So when you can start getting that kind of help and assistance, yeah, it really does. It really does. They don't pay you a whole lot, but they'll give you a little stipend, and which is enticing you to take these courses. But the courses that really helped me out a whole lot. They strengthen my programs, they strengthen my knowledge, and they strengthen my delivery. I've even taken some courses in ethics and diversity, which has really helped me out a whole lot. Because when I first started teaching, it was in New York City about 10 years ago, and it was in the professional development. I had to be certified and what have you. And I went into a classroom and I was like, I'm not ready for this. And I really wasn't, because I wasn't ready for the diversity of students that I was having. So that organization actually gave me some great professional development. I can't say anything bad. I had a great supervisor by the name of Robert Muldoon up there. He was really, really great. And the director, Linda Nelson, was another great person, super support, and made sure that all, not just me, but all the instructors were well trained to deliver the material. So I can't say anything bad about that organization. They really helped me get my feet wet and get moving and get on the ground. So yeah.
Well, shout out to them.
There you go.
To them. Cheers.
There you go.
I'll cheers for you, Mark.
Thank you.
Wow, that's so cool. All right, so since we're talking about all this energy efficiency and stuff like that, and I think you mentioned LEED once. Can you actually like go dive a little bit deeper into LEED and what that is, what it stands for?
Yeah, sure. LEED, and all capital letters, LEED, stands for the Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. It is a voluntary green building rating system developed by the U.S. Green Building Council, which is a non-governmental organization. It's a 503 organization. I don't know if they're nonprofit or not. I can't remember that one, but
I think they're at 503C.
C. Right? Yes, you're correct. I think they are 503C.
I
Yes,
think
that's
they
correct.
are. Last time I checked, I think I saw that.
Yeah, I
I'll
think
double
you're.
check and put it in the description.
But you're right.
501c3.
Yeah, and what they do is they have 4 different levels of certification, and they start off with certified silver, gold, and platinum, and everything is based on points within different categories, and there are 8 different categories. And you have prerequisites to meet in those categories before you can start achieving the points within that category. And so you're looking at, sustainable sites. You're looking at water efficiency. I'm probably not going in order here, so forgive me on that one there. Energy and atmosphere, indoor environmental quality, materials and resources. You have regional priority and innovations. And so you are to pick and choose within those categories. Once you meet the prerequisites, what do you think you can achieve? And the higher level of points, which is based up to 80 points, 80 and over, would be a platinum a certification. Means that it costs a little bit more money. It does. I'm not going to say it's free. It's not. And that level of platinum is difficult to achieve, but it's pretty stringent, and they make it that way because it's not like they want to hand out platinum to anyone. It really is. Now again, it is a voluntary system, and it does cost money, but you know what? If you're building something and you really want to be sustainable, and you want to recognize your building, whether it's a residential building, an institutional, commercial, or industrial building, and you want to recognize that building, then you really want some type of a high performance certification. And in this case, LEED is one of the most recognized. Every few years they do come out with an update to their program. And so it's constantly evolving, and it also has its pluses and minuses, or pros and cons on there, just like anything else has pros and cons. But I think, in my opinion, that I think they do a great job, and to be recognized, it's like you going out and buying organic food. When you go buy organic food, you're looking for that certification. In this case, we're looking for the USDA certification. But so when I want to go into a high performance building, I myself would want to look for that LEED seal or that LEED certification, because then I know that the developer and the builders of this building have really taken the time and really have gone through a stringent rating system in order to achieve that level of sustainability.
Nice. Yeah, that's always good to know when that LEED certification is there. Well,
yeah.
That plaque is pretty big too.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, you got to pay for that plaque now. At one time, when you achieved the level of certification, whatever level you were going for, and don't forget, you try to achieve that level of certification by points. And the USGBC reviews everything, and they have a very stringent and very thorough review process. So you always want to aim for more points than what the category or what the certification requires, because they may look at things and say, well, we don't feel that you met this one here, so instead of meeting gold, maybe you meet silver, which is still a very good accomplishment, And then, of course, but then they used to give you the plaque, and now they charge you for the plaque, and I'm not sure the reasoning behind that. I'm sure they have good reasons for that, but to me, if I was going to be putting up a building and I was going to go for that LEED certification, I would definitely want to show it off and put the plaque inside of my building. Yeah, most definitely, I really would. I would spend the money, and by this time you spent a fair amount of money to get that, to accomplish that, and to get to that level of certification. Why not show it off? And
Right,
exactly. Spend a few more
You
dollars.
do all
and
that
show
work,
it
and
off.
you might as well be like, yo, check out this trophy we got.
Yeah, exactly. And right, it's a trophy. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, right, exactly.
It's a trophy.
Yeah,
You
it
guys
is.
put in so much work to do that, and now it's almost like if you put it away, it's to collect us. It's like,
right.
Did you really even do it?
Yeah, display it. Right? Oh, there's one building at Kean that displays their LEED certification. It's the Center for Academic Success. So they do.
The CAS building?
As soon as you walk into that building, over by the library entrance side, you'll see. As soon as you walk in that vestibule there, right to your right-hand side, there's a LEED plaque right there. That's a LEED certified building.
Nice.
Yes.
Shout out to Kean's CAS building. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the only one that's certified on the on there. They've chosen to construct new buildings, but not go to any kind of, sustainability program, which I think is wrong. Where over at Raritan Valley, almost all their buildings are LEED or in the process of becoming LEED because they're waiting for certification. And sometimes it takes a year to 2 years for the total review to take place from the USGBC or the GBCI. And but they have a great sustainability policy over there, and they do feel that to be recognized, that you need to have something that says so. And so it goes far. It really does.
Anyone can say like, oh, we're LEED certified, but if you don't have like a documentation saying it, then it's like almost like, okay, whatever, like you're lying.
Yeah. No, it's not that you're lying, and you're really not. I have a client of mine in New York City. She's a wonderful lady who really believes in sustainability and tries to make her buildings as sustainable as possible. But she's always been very hesitant to pay for the LEED process. So she does a great job, and her buildings, and I've worked on a couple of her buildings, and I can actually say that her buildings are very sustainable, that they really are. But unfortunately, because they don't have that label on it, she can't market it that way there. But
it's not like stamped.
Yeah, it is, and she means so well. She's a really wonderful lady, and we're working on a project together again up in New York City, which is going very slow because there's multiple owners, but they're working towards the achievement of LEED, and I think it's great, and I think it will definitely recognize their building as being really a leader. Up in New York City, to show that we can take historically landmark buildings and convert them to something of high performance, and show the success with that LEED plaque like we were talking about.
Right, that's sick.
Yeah,
that's really what Kean should do with like all their other buildings, because their other buildings, their design is like 20th century.
I think they're
very old.
Well,
they're very old.
Yeah, they're very old. You're exactly right. And actually, I have 2 students who are working on an independent study with me right now, and I'm just getting ready to send their final paper topic to them. And I've been doing my own little research to make sure that I'm getting everything straight. I gave them all the readings and stuff like that. They're getting very proficient in LEED because that's what we're doing. So their project is to, we're going to use a hypothetical building on Kean, and each one's going to get a different building to do. And they're going to actually now compare the level of sustainability based on the LEED rating system. So, what would it be to achieve a silver building versus gold building, and to go through the analysis. They can probably get almost everything they need to do for this here But the only bad thing is, and one thing it's hard with Kean is they're not very transparent with some of their energy usage. So to really get down into the information that's needed, I mean, I guess I could go to the state, I can fill out papers for the Freedom of Information, but then again, I might not have a job next semester. So I kind of bear with it. But we have a new president now at the university, and I'm waiting for him to get a little more settled in, and I would like to try to approach him to see, if there's something that we can do to use our campus as a living lab, to transform our buildings to a sustainable level, and to get the backing of the university to do so. But because of pandemic right now, I mean, budgets have been cut, so it's difficult because all this stuff is going to cost money. If you want to get your buildings certified, they're already up, so we can certify them under what LEED calls a existing building, and so we can actually do that. And but again, it's money, and since the state has reduce budgets for everyone, and of course, at least we didn't get laid off.
Yeah.
So hopefully things will get better, and at least I'm going to try to get the process rolling. So hopefully they'll move in that direction, because I think that's important. I think we can market our school
a lot
to
better.
be. Yeah, I think so. I really do, and I think if students become educated and they're looking at things, I think that would make a big difference.
I agree. With that being said, we are going to just take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we'll come right back.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
We'll continue this talk of Kean and LEED and all other buildings becoming LEED. So stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching The Drink Sustainability. Warning. As you watch the show, be sure to clink at your own risk. Drinks may not appear the way that they seem.